Hello everyone, my name is Egan and welcome to my channel Evolve Hype. For today's first video we're gonna be talking about Halo Infinite's sequel, Halo Age of Dawn. So we're gonna talk about the summary and a little bit about theories and my opinions at the end of the video. So let's jump into it. For the first time since 2018, with the release of Halo Bad Blood, this book starts exactly in the final minutes of a Halo game, this time with Halo Infinite, with Master Chief, Joyous, and Fernando all together in the Pelican after the defeat of the Harbinger. Well, 3 days later actually. After the weapon revealing her name as Joyous, Fernando tells John that the Vanish have gone berserk these last 3 days, and that they are killing all humans they see, including prisoners and humans on their rank. This made John feel guilty for disappearing for 3 days and not being able to defend UNSC forces. The Vanish have also taken control of some of the FOBs we secured during the campaign, but we don't know which ones. An important event is happening. The last day of Eshrom's funeral is the next day. Here, the Vanish new leader is supposed to be revealed. Master Chief decides that the new plan is to hack communication towers, so UNSC forces can communicate again and regroup. Fernando takes John and Joy to a secure hideout under the ring, the half of a UNSC frigate, FFG-11, now named Casa del Esparza, or House of Esparza, by of course Fernando Esparza. There, Fernando stored his Pelican while he was hiding, with the frigate still having MREs like Taco Pizza and Moabit molds, which John ended up eating. In this moment, John gives Fernando his holopad, the one he found on the 3rd level of the House of Reckoning before his fight with Jega. Turns out his hologram is not Fernando's, he also stole it from who knows, but John tells him that it's okay if it reminds him of his family. After that, John and Fernando go to sleep, while Joyous searches the frigate for whatever she can find. After waking up, they load the Pelican with all they can find, finding an Ares tactical nuclear weapon, which they plan to use at Eshrom's funeral. An interesting detail I read is that Joyous, after searching on the frigate database, she found old Earth history, which she refers to as fascinating stuff, which reminds me of Guilty Spark in Halo CE during the Maw mission. Also seems like Joy likes westerns. Once close to the House of Reckoning, John and Joy captures 2 Sentinel aggressors. This is because Joyous took the Spawn Inspires and Cephalon Core from the Harbinger right before she died, so she is in charge of the ring. We also find out that there are multiple sub-monitors on the ring. They are going to use the Sentinels to scout the area and to plant the nuke on the House of Reckoning. The House of Reckoning is heavily protected, and seems like all the Banished are there, with Sengalis, Grunts, Jackals, Jirohana, Legolo, and humans. John decides to wait until night to drop the nuke, and this is where we get the revelation. Jagaro Diamond is on the roof of the House of Reckoning. He's happy to see that everyone is there united to honor Eshram. Jega starts to remember the Master Chief. Here we are told that the nanotechnology is healing his organs, dissolving projectiles in his chest, and that he almost lost his second natural heart during his fight with the Master Chief. And this is where we get a deep thought of Jega that I never thought we could get from him. Had you defeated the demon first, your only friend would be still alive. Here we can see that Jega is actually sad for losing him. Back in the roof, Jega is with some leaders, like Bales, chieftain of the Ravaged Tusks, Gallian, chieftain of the Witch's Eye, a Singili warlord Val Hasumai, and Captain Denakrim, from the same clan as Eshram. Right before Eshram's cremation, Denakrim uses the horn of a thorn beast as part of the ceremony. After being mocked by Gallian, Jega stabs him in the stomach, with his blood bleed and killing him. After that, the crowd got mad. Jackals started to kill humans, brutes smashing grunts with their hammers, but they were stopped by Jega, saying that he doesn't care who leads, he just wants to honor Eshram's legacy and kill all humans, but not his human prisoner, who is actually Lucas Browning, a scientist that was captured by the Banished, used to set the Harbinger free and tortured by Jega later on. We can actually hear his audio logs in Halo Infinite's campaign. After being told to kill Dr. Browning, Jega takes him and flies away on a phantom, while being chased by another Banished leaders. After leaving a safe distance, John tells Joy to detonate the nuke on the House of Reckoning. So yeah, the House of Reckoning is now destroyed. John follows Jega's phantom with the help of Fernando to a secret piece of the ring far away. After arriving, John sneaks into the base of Jega and rescues Dr. Browning. Jaguar Diamond watches him through his security cameras, but let him escape because Browning, without his knowledge, has a tracking device. Jaga has a moment to remember his times as Silent Shadow, more specifically, the Headhunter's motion short film that is now available on the official Halo YouTube channel. In this flashback, Jaga remembers how he was rescued by the Banished in the aftermath of the Headhunter's event. He was cured and still has the knife of Jonah B2A3. After rescuing Dr. Browning, they escape from the secret island, but a Banshee pursues the star and damages the Pelican. But they are saved by Joyu's Sentinels. The group hides in a snowy mountain. After making quick repairs, they start to get chased by more Banshees, but they are saved by Spartan Thomas Horvath from Halo Infinite's audio logs and their book Rubicon Protocol. He was surprised to see Joyus, thinking she was Cortana. Once they are safe, Horvath tells John that thanks to Spartan Stone, they send their ring's location to UNSC space. Browning tells him that the Harbinger implanted something inside him, that it's making him remember those odd names we hear during the audio logs. Joy suggests that they should go to a late workstation to encode the imprint and maybe find out what the Harbinger was planning. Before leaving, John gave his threat sensor, grapple shot, and shield module to Horvath, so he can go and distract the Banished ships while the group escapes. Once they go to the Life Worker Central, they land on a jungle, where they find ancient humans constructions, which surprise Fernando. He grabs an assault rifle and follows Chief and Browning. They start to talk about how ancient humans used to live on the ring, and how Forerunners started to use them to find a cure for the Flood. Here we get to know that there isn't an official announcement about the Flood from the UNSC, but it's known that they exist because it's something difficult to hide. After hearing human noises but no friendly attacks, John goes and checks out alone, leaving Fernanda and Browning behind, where they speak about being tortured by Jaga Rodamnine. John found a pair of ODSTs watching hologram ads. One of the ODSTs tells John that the Banished are using friendly attacks to lure humans into traps and that they are also using Spartan armors. These ODSTs also get scared after seeing Joe use, but end up cooperating with Master Chief, telling him that the Life Work Essential is a base for human survivors. After entering the base, John and Joyus notice that the place is covered with a shield that protects it. That's why the Banished haven't found it yet. Once inside, they find a doctor that cures Fernando and Browning. The leader of the base is Commander Wes Thompson. When John and Joy go inside the monolith, they are welcomed by Dr. Jeannie Donson. But here we get a scary revelation. She is not human. She and another 4 scientists are made of Forerunner Hardlight, but they still consider themselves human. She tells John that she and her co-workers were studying the ring 4 years ago, but due to an accident, their bodies were lost, but their minds were stored, and now they are living inside the facility. Dr. Jeannie gave Joy the coordinates of the Lightworkers archive, where they can help Browning with his Gs. Both John and Joy suspect why Commander Thompson doesn't have that information yet. After exiting the Lightworker Central, they detect Banished scout forces nearby. John decides to leave with Lucas and leaving the survivors deal with the scout patrol. After arriving at the Lightworkers archive and finding a terminal where Joey could search what they were looking for, John speaks with Browning. He tells him that speaking with the Harbinger made him lose long periods of time, and that Jaga only wanted him to know the secrets of the Harbinger. At this point, John tries to make Browning remember the plans of the Harbinger, but he can't, and starts to panic. This is when John tells him that the Harbinger is dead, surprising Lucas and not believing him in a strange way, as if it was impossible. While he was remembering, Browning tells John that the Harbinger found the Endless, but how could he know that? John suspects that he and the Harbinger have a mental connection, like John and the Dagda in Halo 4, when he starts to hear his voice in the mission shutdown. While Joy was on the matrix of the archive, a mysterious entity stole the Spawn-inspired core from her, and threatened her to never come back again. After coming back to John, she tells him, but fortunately, she retrieved some schematics of the archive, so they can find the G technology. While Fernando was waiting, the radar of his Pelican warned him that Banished phantoms were coming to his position. Without other choice, he blew the archive's entrance, as John told him to do if compromised. While trying to escape, the phantom's turrets damaged the Pelican, but something behind Fernando destroyed the phantom. Fernando tried to escape, but he couldn't fly too far away due to the damage. After making an emergency landing, a couple of elites entered the Pelican. Fernando tried to defend himself, but failed. After grabbing a sidekick and shooting one of the elites, this elite, called Core, told him that they were not his enemies. They were the ones who destroyed the Banished Phantom, and that they were part of the source of San Gilios. They were on board on the Infinity when it was attacked. They took the Pelican and Fernando to a safe place, but he didn't tell them about the Master Chief until he trusted them enough. After finding another exit from the archive, the group found Salexes. They also found live animals preserved inside columns and huragogs. Joy communicates with a huragog, called Rice's Hide, who offers to help him with Browning's Gish. Finding out that his Gish, instead of being Forerunner, it's Salanin. Rice's Hide tells John that the Gish cannot be removed, but it can be rewritten. It offers to lead them to the Lightworkers Central Archive. John's radar starts to detect red dots, meaning that the Banished was there. Joy suspects that the code on Browning's mind is an access code to free or find the Endless. Joy also thinks that Browning has a tracking device, but after a scan from Rice's Hide, he couldn't find anything. After arriving to a desert plain thanks to a gondola and a rail pod, Master Chief detects Banished Phantoms coming to their position. One of these phantoms destroyed the rail, making the group go to a tunnel on the desert for safety. Here, Rice's Hide cures Lucas with nanotechnology, almost completely from his wounds. After going through a portal, the group end up in the ruins of the Silent Auditorium, finding the corpse of the Harbinger. Rice's Hide strangely gets closest to her and licks her arm, making Joy and John suspects about its intentions, especially after suspecting that Browning does have a tracking device and the Huragog lied about not finding it. Rice's Hide approaches one of the towers that the Harbinger was trying to activate in the final mission of Halo Infinite, and it initiates a quantum distortion that teleports John and Joy back in time. Here, Joy isn't an AI anymore. She's standing next to John, and they are described as ghosts, teleported inside a memory, the moment the Endless were imprisoned inside the Silent Auditorium back in 97,368 BCE. The Criterion, the last living council of Forerunners, Spawn Empire, and Offensive Bias, were there when the Salanin were imprisoned, with the Harbinger being one of them. After the imprisonment, the leader of the Criterion commands the Spawn Empire and Offensive Bias to study the Salanin, and once they find their nature and their ability to survive the Halo Ray, they can be set free. Back to the present in the auditorium, Jaeger Diamond arrives with a group of mercenaries, finding Browning and the Huragog alone. Jega interrogates him for Master Chief information, but he refuses to cooperate. Jega hits the body of their Harbinger and decides that Browning is not necessary anymore, and stabs Browning with its blood blade on the stomach. Jega grabs the corpse of the Harbinger and leaves. Browning, using his hands to cover the wounds, asks the Huragog to cure him like it did before, but Rice's Hide grabs the Harbinger's head ornamental and follows Jega. In his last moments, Browning crawls to one of the pillars and puts his bloody hand, making John and Joy return, and then Browning closes his eyes. After they return, Joy tells John that even though it was a quick memory, they spent almost an hour inside there. Here is where they notice the body of Browning. Quickly, John uses his biofoam canister to close the wound. The pain wakes Browning up. Joy uses the medical technology to repair specific parts of his body. After a quick diagnostics by Joy, Browning has only 30 minutes to find a medical help until he dies. John sends a distress signal to Echo 216. In their way out, Jega left groups of Banished to stop the Master Chief from leaving the auditorium, which complicated things considering the health of Browning. When John arrived at the landing bay of the auditorium, he was surrounded by Banished, noticing that they were not going to be able to save Browning. In that moment, a transmission from Fernando came in. John notices that a Banished Phantom is approaching. This is when Fernando tells him that a Pelican is on the shop, and he's going with some friends. Once on the landing bay, 4 elites exited the Phantom and helped John while he went to Browning. John suspects that they must be part of the source of San Gilios. Unfortunately, this effort wasn't enough, and Lucas Browning died in that Phantom. His funeral was at the Lightworkers Central, where John met Dr. Genie. 3 days later, on June 11, 2560, Joy helped Dr. Genie and her colleagues to enter the Lightworkers installation, where they can continue their studies, while John and Spartan Covan been cleaning Banished outposts and attacking patrols. In the other hand, Jaeger Diamond has been trying to find whatever he can find from the Harvinger's body, with the help of the Huragog. After a couple of moments of torture, the Huragog tells Jega that the Encephalon has been taken by Joy with the help of the Master Chief, which made Jega so mad he wanted to kill Rice's Hide, but he controlled his emotions and unfold his ghost spirit plays. A day later, John and Joy finally reunited, both not being able to start a conversation, both still guilty for the loss of Dr. Browning. When they were interrupted by Spartanina Coven, another survivor from the Rubicon Protocol, who is now wearing her Spartan armor for some reason, but a mix of salvaged Spartan and ODST armor pieces, she tells John that they need him for something important. Once on the center of the camp, with everyone inside, Commander Thompson says that Dr. Ginny finds something important within a 3,000 kilometer range. A large group of UNSC forces in multiple parts of the ring. John asks if they found Infinity. Dr. Ginny theorizes that Infinity could be using clock technology and could be hiding somewhere. Commander Thompson asks if John is ready for that rescue mission, with Joyus, Fernando, 2 Marines, and 4 elites from the surface San Gilios acknowledging too. Master Chief's last line is, "Let's get to work." In the epilogue, we get a moment between Tel Baram, the Arbiter, and Spartan Vale on San Gilios. Arbiter tells Vale that he's got something very important, revealing to her a device with Forerunner symbols from a transmission he received. After reading that, Vale noticed that there were coordinates to the Earth system, with Zeta Halo's location. The final pages of the book is dedicated to a Harbinger's poem. Here, she names her kind to Children of Abaddon. With this information and the rest of the poem, we're being confirmed that the Endless are children of their precursors, and that the Harbinger is indeed an Endless. And yeah, so that was the summary of Halo Edge of Dawn. And now I'm gonna be talking about my theories and my opinions, so if you're not interested in any of that, you're completely free to go. But if you're gonna stay, well, thank you. First thing of all is that this book is really skinny, just 300 pages long. I'm pretty used to reading Halo books that are more than 400 pages, like Halo Shadows of Reach is 450 pages, if I'm not wrong, and Halo Empty Throne, the last Halo book we got, it's almost 500 pages. It's a very thick book, and well, that makes a lot of sense because only like 10 to 15% of Halo fans do actually read the novels, so it's pretty understandable that Halo Studios don't want to make like another encyclopedia of Halo. I mean, you probably saw that we don't get so much information, new characters, nothing new actually. But it's very understandable, because this is just a book, a bridge between Halo Infinite and Halo 7. The only thing that we can actually say that it's like the new stuff we get from this book is that the revelation of the origin of the Endless. Thanks to the Halo Encyclopedia and Halo Edge of Dawn, we've finally been confirmed that the Endless are indeed children of their precursors, that they were indeed made from them, especially in the poem of the Harbinger where she says that they are children of Abaddon. For those that don't know, Abaddon is an ancient AI created by the precursors, and that he or it was the protector of the domain. That's a really long story that I don't want to get very deep into this video. I'm planning on making another video fully dedicated to the origin of the Endless and everything we know about them, so I'm not gonna deep much into it. Another thing that we got confirmation is that the schemers are made by the Salanin. The same Salanin are being able to create life just like the precursors. So they made the schemers, and that explains a lot, because in Halo Infinite we see that the schemers are very similar to the Harbinger. That's because she made them to her appearance, which is normal in the Salanin culture. Something that worries me a lot is that before the release of Age of Dawn, I saw that the grapple shot was not going to return on Halo 7 due to some leaks and also with Halo Age of Dawn. And now that I finally read the book, I'm scared that the Halo Studios actually removed the grapple shot, threat sensor, all the equipment we get during the campaign because of this simple interaction of Master Chief giving his stuff to Horvath. And of course this is not confirming anything, but it still feels like weird that Master Chief specifically gives most of his equipment to Horvath. Another thing that I noticed is that Blue Team is mentioned a lot. Blue Team, if I'm not wrong, is mentioned like 4 times in this book, and one character that is specifically mentioned like 3 times is Kelly. And funny enough, the name of the author is Kelly. I don't know if that is a coincidence or what, but yeah, Kelly is mentioned like 3 or 4 times in this book. And I was really hoping that we would see Blue Team appearing at the end of the book. So we will see Blue Team on Halo 7, like starting the campaign just like in Halo 5. The first mission we already have a team, and I was really hoping to see that, but you're gonna have to wait until Halo 7 to find that out. The last thing that I would like to talk about is that most people, when it was announced Age of Dawn, they believed that this book was the cancelled DLC of Halo Infinite, because as we already know, Halo Infinite was going to have a multiple DLCs planned, and the most closest thing that we got was a DLC that was going to be the sequel of Halo Infinite, but it was cancelled, and it was a couple of months, if not years later, that we got the confirmation of Halo Age of Dawn. And a lot of people start to speculate that this is the cancelled DLC of Halo Infinite. If you ask me, this is not the DLC. I mean, it could have some aspects, but overall, I don't think this was actually planned to be a DLC for Halo Infinite. We do have like stuff that you can consider that could be in Halo, a DLC of Halo Infinite, but it's not like all of it. Especially because we visit a lot of new locations. We go into a jungle, into a swamp, into a desert, and I don't think that Halo Studios would actually put so much effort on doing that kind of stuff for a DLC. So, my opinion overall, I like this book. I really like it, especially because I bought the Audible version with the voices of Fernando Esparza, of John, of Joyous, and surprisingly enough, the voice of the Harbinger that I unfortunately forgot. But it was a complete surprise for me that I was listening to it, and then you spend like a couple of seconds in silence, and I was like, is this like 5 minutes of dead silence? And then the Harbinger starts to say her poem before she dies on Halo Infinite. I highly recommend you, if you want to read the book, I would personally recommend you to buy the Audible version. But if you like to read, of course you can buy it, or you can do both like I did. I used to play the Audible version, and while I was reading it, and it was like a very interesting experience hearing the voices of Steve Downs and Taylor. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys like it. If you have any comments, you can comment it down below. If you have something that you think I could improve in, comment down below too. I have an Instagram page called Evolved Hive. I'm very active there. That page is fully dedicated to Halo stuff. So if you like Halo memes, Halo merch, Halo news, everything about Halo, you can follow me there. I post very actively there. That's my main page. I also have a Twitch account, but it's kind of difficult to stream because I have a very busy life. So that's why Instagram is like my main active page. The video soon about the Endless and everything we know about them. So stay tuned. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year everyone, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.